To my fellow board members, I ask that we continue to lead by example, listening intentionally, speaking thoughtfully, and treating one another, staff, and residents with dignity and respect, even in disagreement. Healthy discussion strengthens our community when it is rooted in mutual respect and a shared commitment to progress. We are all here because we care deeply about this town and its future. Let us conduct tonight's meeting in a way that reflects the values of the Zebulon community we trust. Thank you. I will ask for an approval of the agenda, but before I do so, note to the board, there is a change in the agenda, but it's not a, it was a reorder. So if you look at the presentations where it says budget work session in Nomako Park, Nomako Park was first and the budget session was second, so we just changed the order. So it's not an actual change it's just a change in order. So I just wanted you to know that because it still would be considered amended. All right, so is there a motion to approve the agenda? So moved. We have a motion, we have a second? Second. We have a motion and a second, all in favor? Motion passes unanimously, thank you. All right, and now we will have our consent agenda. Is there a motion?
I move that the Board of Commissioners approve the consent agenda as presented.
We have a motion. We have a second?
I second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Old business. We have old business. A, East Wake Asphalt Plant, Director Lauer. You're already here.
Good afternoon, everybody. To complete the special use permit process, the board is required to adopt a written statement. The written statement has been presented to you. It has been reviewed by Attorney Herzog. Should you believe that this written statement matches the motion and subsequent vote for denial of special use permit 2026-01, staff recommends that you adopt this written statement with this motion.
Thank you, Director Lauer. Are there any questions? Yes, Commissioner Baxter.
Before we move forward, as I did not vote on this item, I'm going to ask to recuse myself.
And Commissioner Baxter is asking to be recused. Do we need to make a motion for her to recuse herself? Okay. Motion?
So moved.
We have a motion. We have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Commissioner Baxter. So do we have a motion for the, yep, you got it. We have a motion?
I hereby move to approve the written statement of denial for special use permit 2026-01.
We have a motion. We have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Let's do a roll vote. Commissioner Roa?
Approve.
Commissioner Adams? Approve. Commissioner Davis?
Favor.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Favor.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. All right. New business, Phase and Road Water Sewer, Director Lau.
All right, so this subject of this topic starts with the Raleigh-Zebulon Utility Merger Agreement. The purpose of the agreement was to merge Zebulon's water and sewer utility system into the Raleigh water ecosystem. The City of Raleigh assumes all responsibility for utility operations, for maintenance, and expansion. The relevant provision tonight is that a parcel in the extraterritorial jurisdiction does not have to be annexed into Zebulon in order to receive wet utilities per this agreement. You should see section 5.3, which says that utility extensions within Zebulon's ETJ or urban service area require prior written approval from the Zebulon Board of Commissioners. And this approval for utility service shall not be unreasonably withheld from either party, City of Zebulon or by the City of Raleigh. And so the board recently voted to deny 2 annexations. This is one of the 2 annexation requests, the phase and tract development. And the phase and tract representatives are here to request this written statement for utility extension. We've provided 2 sample motions, an approved motion and a deny motion. And I'd love to give the applicant an opportunity to speak if they so wish.
Thank you. Do we need to hear from the applicant? Yeah, I want to hear. Do we need to hear from the applicant? Thank you. Please state your name for the record.
Good evening, or good afternoon, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and Commissioners. I'm Collier Marsh with Parker Poe at 301 Fayetteville Street here on behalf of KB Home. I also have Doug Schwartz, who is the division president of KB Home, here as well with me tonight. So we appreciate your consideration of this request. This relates to the phase-in track. The board voted a meeting about a month back to deny the annexation of that property, the effect of which is that that property and that development will not come into the town's corporate limits. The town will not have the obligation to provide police services or fire services, independent of whatever pre-existing obligations it has. So the town has made that decision. However, the property still remains under the planning jurisdiction of the town, and so it has to be developed under the town standards, which include development that has sewer and city water. And so we're still designed to that standards and have gone through that staff review process. So now what's before you tonight is really just a part of your merger agreement with the city of Raleigh. So after the board denies the annexation, it then puts us into a different category that to then make the connections to water and sewer, we just need to have your written approval. It doesn't change your obligations. It just means that the city of Raleigh will in fact provide water and sewer to this property, at least that you'll provide your consent. And so the outcome of which is that the property is more safely developed, we'll have water and sewer to provide those residents the services they need, which is a much better outcome for those folks while not increasing any obligations whatsoever of the town. So with that, we're happy to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Do we have any questions from the board? Is there a motion?
I hereby move to approve the provided written utilities extension letter for the phase-in tract pursuant to Section 5.3 of the Raleigh-Zebulon Utility Merger Agreement.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll vote. Commissioner Baxter.
Favor.
Commissioner, we have discussion.
Discussion, there we go. So just make sure I understand, once this is approved, we get no tax dollars from this now. So the way we're writing up, there's no taxes coming to the town, is that correct?
So, correct. So this parcel is currently not annexed. And so the town would receive some impact fee dollars, for example. So it's subject to everything that the planning department regulates. So the town would receive one-time impact fee dollars. Because it's not annexed, the town won't receive property taxes. Your decision to approve or deny this utility extension request does not preclude the applicant from resubmitting an annexation petition later on.
Once we approve it, why would he come back? If they already have what they need, why would they come back? Also, we're going to miss out on other taxes as well with this approval. We'll be missing out on park impact fees, is that correct?
No, we still charge impact fees. Full
So we
slate of
should get-
impact fees get charged either way.
And the park impact fees to the town?
Correct.
So that's the only tax base we'll get. Anything else, what total will we be getting once we give them this right, Matt? Is there a total that you have?
The total annual for phase and track?
That is correct.
That was presented at the annexation hearing. I believe this one's about $250,000 a year.
One-time fee, we won't get it every year, then you're saying then, correct?
So, no. So the annual estimated property tax upon build-out for the phase and tract is about $250,000 a year.
Right.
In terms of impact fee, there's a couple other variables before we can calculate that. But I would suspect the impact fee I'm trying to think, for a similar development, somewhere in the ballpark of $100,000 to $300,000.
That we're not providing from them is what? I mean, so if we're getting tax dollars.
Services.
We're going to provide
Hold on a
those
second.
anyway.
Hold on, I'm asking Matt, subject matter expert. Go ahead, Matt. Tell me what we're giving them that we're not receiving, that they will be receiving for the town.
So the town will not receive property tax dollars, and the town will also not receive car tab fees on the development. The town is not obligated to provide police service, public works service, and our fire department will cover it per our agreement with the county.
So this development will still be within our town, within our ETJ.
Correct.
We will not receive taxes from them. We will
Correct.
receive a one-time impact fee, but
Correct.
we will still be servicing them with our fire department because they serve the ETJ, and likely with our police department because they service when there's a call. You don't have to say yes. I'm
Well,
just
so
putting it
the
out
fire
there.
department will service it, but when land gets annexed from the county into the town of Zebulon, the county rate, effectively, or the amount of money that the county pays the town to cover county area. That's not going to change because the area is not changing.
Yeah,
Right,
I
it's not
wasn't
gonna go
actually
down.
referring
Right.
that to you, Matt. I was just making sure
Yeah,
that
yeah.
our board understood. So we have a motion, we have a second. Are there any more discussions?
So what's the benefit for us, the town of Zebulon, going this route, Matt, instead of just annexing it in? They're gonna receive all the services, everything, but basically the town is not getting tax dollars. What is the rationale this way?
Opportunity to annex the parcel and voted to deny the annexation, so this is the next step.
Madam Mayor,
Please, go ahead.
can you just go back one slide? To in the beginning, I just want, what does that mean? Go forward one. For the attorney there, under section 5.3, approval for utility service shall not be unreasonably withheld. If we vote against it, do we fall under that or no?
I think it'd be prudent to discuss the reasons, either for or against. If there's going to be disagreement, that would be prudent.
One thing, just trying to understand, so I want to get the consensus of the board, so what is the benefit of us if we're not receiving residual tax basis instead of just a one-time fee? If we seem to be going to give them water, that's basically what they need to make the land profitable for the developer. Why wouldn't we say, okay, long-term, those that are approving it, why not go long-term? Because you're only getting one fee.
What do you mean by going long-term?
Long-term, when you constantly are paying taxes constantly.
Well, we would have if we would have annexed it in,
Right,
but we
correct.
didn't do that because we
So-
denied it.
That's what I'm saying. So what is the rationale for us going this route, approving it this way?
So we don't want to let them have water? Is that what we're saying?
What's the
Well,
negative?
not us,
What's
but
the negative
like,
that you
why
see?
wouldn't we?
We already denied the annexation, that's what I'm saying.
But this is not
But the risk
going
is
to-
that second line there. If we unreasonably withhold the services, then we fall under this section 5.3.
Okay,
That-
Matt?
That's what the
What
attorney.
is the consequences that fall up under 5.3, section 5.3? What is the negative impact on the town of Zebulon?
Well, I may have to look into what this agreement provides for if you were to unreasonably withhold services.
We have a motion and we have a second. Let's do a roll vote. Commissioner Baxter?
In favor?
Commissioner Adams? Commissioner Davis? Commissioner Roa?
Favor.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Deny.
Motion passes 4-1. Thank you. Temple Johnson Road, wet utility, Director Lauer.
Yes, ma'am. This is a very similar discussion. Centers around the Raleigh-Zebulon Utility Merger Agreement, which merged the Zebulon water system into the Raleigh water ecosystem. The relevant provision is Section 5.3, which allows for utility extensions within our ETJ or urban service area, provided that an applicant receives written approval from the Zebulon Board of Commissioners. The consideration of approval cannot be reasonably withheld from either party for the city of Raleigh or town of Zebulon. The parcels in question are what we call collectively the Temple Johnson Road properties. This was subject to an annexation hearing that was recently denied, and so the applicant is here to pursue this step. The two sample motions are on the screen. The applicant is also here if you so choose and they wish to speak. Otherwise, I'll turn it back to you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Director Lauer. Sean, would you like to speak?
My name is Sean Smith, 4030 Wake Forest Road. I'm here on behalf of Meridian Properties Group. I'm one of the owners of that company and one of the owners of 131 and 201 Temple Johnson Road. Mayor Harrison, members of the board, I first of all just want to give you guys my appreciation for allowing me to speak tonight. We are also here as a result of our May 4th denied annexation, which has left us in this position. At that meeting, it was discussed that there was a net tax benefit to the town on an annual basis of $760,000 from our project if it was to be annexed to the town of Zebulon. That was our desire. We're here tonight, and I'd like to talk about a different focus for my comments this evening. I'd like to focus my comments on something that is not only my opinion, but rather the findings contained in the town of Zebulon's recently completed housing study and demographic data analysis. The study identifies several realities facing Zebulon today. First of all, Zebulon is one of the fastest growing communities in North Carolina. The report notes that the town's population has increased dramatically and is expected to continue growing for years to come. The study further notes that thousands of additional housing units are already approved or proposed, and that future population projections may actually be underestimated. Secondly, the study concludes that Zebulon has a limited housing mix and that overwhelming majority of housing consists of single-family detached homes. In fact, more than 80% of the housing built since 2014 has been single-family detached housing. The report specifically identifies the need for a greater variety of housing options to serve the residents at different stages of life and different income levels. Third, the report highlights the challenges facing renters and workforce households. According to the study, approximately 80% of renter households in Zebulon are cost burdened, meaning they spend more than 30% of their income on housing. Nearly 40% of those are considered extremely cost burdened. The report further states that rental costs continue to rise and the lack of new multifamily development is contributing to affordability pressures. The study also found that Zebulon currently has an affordable housing gap of approximately 1,400 units, with the greatest need among lower income renters. Importantly, nearly half of residents surveyed supported prioritizing housing options that are affordable for low and moderate income households. Perhaps most importantly, the housing study recommends that Zebulon increase both the number and the mix of housing options. It specifically recommends streamlining approvals, removing barriers to housing diversity, and facilitating a broader range of residential housing types. Our request is consistent with these findings. This project would help provide the type of housing that the study says is currently underrepresented. It would help to create housing opportunities for working families, young professionals, service workers, teachers, healthcare employees, and others who contribute to the local economy but may not be able to afford a newly constructed single-family home. Lastly, this project will also bring much-needed commercial opportunities in an area of town that could greatly benefit from it. The question before the board tonight is not simply about a utility extension. It is about whether Zebulon will support solutions that address the housing needs identified in its own housing study. Approving this request would help advance the town's stated goals of expanding housing choice, improving affordability, supporting workforce housing, and preparing responsibly for future growth. I respectfully ask for your support. Thank you for your time and consideration, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Sean? Any questions from the board?
I do. Currently, Meridian has come before us before. Can you state how many houses that you guys have built in the town of Zebulon, currently receive COs on through Meridian?
We have completed entitlements of 2 projects, and both of those projects are currently under site development.
Have we given a CO on any housing for Meridian?
There is no COs on any of those, although the infrastructure is closed out on both of them.
So they have 2 projects and nothing's been built at all?
The site work is being completed, roads, infrastructure, utility extensions.
So the things that you need done before you build a
For the
house.
utility allocation worksheet, all has been installed. The next step is permitting and vertical construction.
Your question is, has a vertical builder come in and
That is
built on
correct.
those 2? Vertical builders are in the process of it, but neither have a CO on it from a vertical standpoint. No, sir.
Thank you.
Things like getting approvals and plats approved and all of that at the end of the site work process take a long time. And then permitting also takes a long time. And so that's where we are with those 2 projects that were previously approved here in Zebulon.
Thank you. Anything else from the board? Your motion?
Sure. I hereby move to approve the provided written utilities extension letter for the Temple Johnson Road properties pursuant to Section 5.3 of the Raleigh-Zebulon Utility Merger Agreement.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. As for discussion, I just want to, I've spoken to everyone on the board outside of Mayor Pro Tem, and I just want to be very clear that I really hope that we will reconsider some decisions that we've made for the benefit of our community. I want to make sure that we all understand what we're doing, where we are, and I think we do. And so as we approve water, as we have our services, our police and fire, all servicing these communities that we're approving to get water from Raleigh, I just want to make sure that we are making educated and sensible decisions that's in the best interest of our community. Anything else?
With that said, we're currently in a town that's looking for more money. We all know the discussion before it's budget. We need more revenue coming in. Right now, we're about to annex in a property that we will only get one-time fees. Is that correct? Planning director, we get one-time fees, and then that's basically it. We're currently looking for residual income.
This is not an
I don't know.
annexation.
It's okay. We're going to move forward. We're going to move forward. We have a motion. We have a second. Roll vote. Commissioner Baxter?
Approve.
Commissioner Adams?
Approve.
Commissioner Davis?
Approve.
Commissioner Roa?
Approve.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Deny.
Motion passes 4-1. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
Presentations. Nope. Budget. Mayor. Not mayor. Who are you? Manager. Yeah, no, you don't trade seats with me, honey. Thank you, Manager Crosby.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners, Mayor Pro Tem. So today's budget work session, I did not bring a presentation, but I do have directors.
Manager.
I did not bring a presentation, but I do have directors here to answer questions from the board.
Thank you. So let's get into budget. I think that there has been some conversations and some things that we want to discuss with the, all right. Mayor Pro Tem, you need, I'll let them finish. All right, who would like to start off our budget talk? All right, Commissioner Baxter.
Thank you. So, I know that there's been a lot of work that was put together to get this budget rocking and rolling, but I think that we've got a few areas where we could realize some additional savings. My focus for the things that I would like the board to consider adjustments with will enable us to potentially avoid having to sign a fund policy, a general fund policy waiver, as well as potentially be able to add a position mid-year. And so I'm going to just jump on into the things that I think, that I'd like to discuss.
Okay, thank you.
The first being, I know that we had discussed and brought up, I believe it was last time, board salaries, and there was a published amount for board salaries that I think that all of us are in agreement are going to be, that's going to be different. And so I'm looking for a reduction in approximately $55,000. That will bring board salaries to 16 for board members and 20 for the mayor. On page,
I'm sorry, Commissioner Baxter, the 55 that you were just mentioning, is that just that 55,000 in savings? Is that just with the mayor and that's just with our board compensation?
the board and the mayor,
Okay,
that's
all right.
55.
Thank you.
And then if we look at on page 170, I would like us to consider, get there. Reducing the amount that we're planning on spending on fireworks by 15,000. That'll bring it down to 10,000. Because we can partner with the Devil Dogs, that will reduce the amount that fireworks will cost us as opposed to us running the fireworks on our own, and we should still be able to provide kind of like lovely fireworks events. Let's see.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
Do we have an estimate on what we are spending this year for fireworks in partnership?
3,500, I believe.
Yes, 3,500.
And that will be for the fireworks that will take place on July 5th.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Our July 5th fireworks celebration.
Thank you.
That I mentioned not because I'm throwing out the first pitch by any means. I'm just mentioning it because it's a wonderful celebration. All right. Let's move on.
Can I ask a question regarding that? So right now, we're only spending 3,500 to do what we need to do this year for it?
I don't know if it's to do what we need to do, but it's going to be to provide fireworks for the July 5th event.
Can't keep that number the same for next year? Does it have to go up to 15,000?
I don't know about that. That would be okay. I think the agreement, I don't know who you're pointing at. I think the agreement this year was a smaller fireworks show because the Devil Dog, we're just kind of getting it. So I don't know if that small show will need the same, we might need a higher partnership next year, just because this year, I think they were, just trying to find vendors and it was a lot. So I wouldn't say that price would stay that low, yeah.
There's a possibility, though, of having other partnerships.
Oh, yeah, sure, we could do public-private partnerships, absolutely. Any more questions, or can I roll forward a little bit?
Go on.
Okay.
You don't mind
Yeah,
if we jump in, right?
Yeah, I was just gonna
Yeah,
say,
of
this is
course.
a discussion, so please, anybody jump
Just
in,
was
don't wait for me to
figuring,
call
yeah,
on you.
please jump in.
No.
Then on 152, page 152, I would like us to consider reducing the travel and training budget by 10,000.
And in that, when we, Manager Crosby, could I trouble you to find, maybe to look up some different travel and training policies from other municipalities that the board can maybe do at a work session and look at, so we can create our own policy surrounding travel and training? Thank you.
Just a question on that also. What is our current travel and training fund?
What'd you say?
What's our current balance? What's our current fund for travel and training?
The budget or
Yeah,
how?
the budget.
Jeremy, do you have that?
Budget last year?
Yeah, what do we have this year? What did we allocate for this year?
The number you're looking at is more of a repeat from last year's actual costs.
Sure.
I did canvass for input on a specific plan by person, by event, and I just hadn't got any feedback yet to tailor that number any differently.
Okay. So this is pretty much just kind of a copy paste from last year with the original, not any, okay, got it. Thank you.
Actual, not the original.
Okay, and you want to bring it to 42,000?
Yes.
Correct.
42.5, I think.
Any way to go deeper on those cuts? Because,
Sure, I think that maybe we could consider, oh, I'm sorry, you weren't finished. Go ahead.
oh, no, I'm just asking because a lot of the trips, can we, for a year, stay local as much as possible in order to save money? I mean, I'm going to go through some of the things I've considered too, but you're kind of hitting on the same kind of highlights.
Yeah, so I think that certainly we can discuss that moving forward, but I would rather have that sitting there and have us work on the travel and training policy and put that in place first. I mean, I would absolutely support any kind of initiative that the board would take, say if, well, you know what, this is not the time for a policy discussion. So, yeah, I mean, we could, that's my suggestion.
Okay.
And then finally, on page 171, if we scroll down, it's a little over halfway. I would like to remove the home infrastructure program fund. That's $50,000. That is an initiative that at some point will probably be picked up by the next economic developer, but right now we don't have one, and so there's not really a need to have that $50,000 sitting in a line item.
Is that all you got?
Those are my thoughts,
All right.
yes. Thank you so much.
No problem. We're just going to go down the line. Is that fine? Cool. All right. Commissioner Adams?
Yeah, no, thank you, Sean. I think I agree with, I think this is excellent. What is the benefit of us reducing all this right here?
Oh, thank you so much. So that's going to help us potentially, depending on the town manager, of course, but it will allow us like a half-year salary, say for a police officer. It will remove our need for a general fund policy waiver. So there's a couple of different reasons why those numbers were pulled like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right. Lady Davis, Commissioner Davis.
Manager Crosby, we had a discussion regarding the events, and I know you're going to get back to us as soon as possible with the cost. Commissioner Baxter was talking about the reduction for the fireworks and the potential partnership with the Devil Dogs. Wanted to ensure that if we were to pull those funds by $15K, what that would really look like as far as a possible partnership, because we're talking about $3,500 and making sure that that would still give us the proper amount of fireworks, because we don't want to just have something minimal. We want to make sure we give our citizens a good show. So wanted to get your insight regarding that.
So right now, the partnership is that we're splitting the cost, and we have not scheduled to follow up on what future years would look like, so I can't give you that information. But if we're splitting the cost, that I think that that would get us a reasonable show.
Okay. We also talked about, once we get those numbers of the other events and series that we do, there might be further discussion later on in pulling some of the other events that we do, some that might not pull enough economic development here, that might not bring many funds or a large crowd. So as long as we're open to discussion later on, then I would be okay with that. The travel and training, I know that's something that's been a big discussion on the board and concerns for our community. I wanted to make sure I understood you correct, Commissioner Roa. Did you state something about keeping more local, because we do have two conferences that cause the board to travel out of state? So I wanted just to hear more of your thoughts of what you were thinking regarding that.
Yeah, like seeing overall, looking at our expenditures, where we could minimize cost, because being in a deficit, you're like, where, when we add all these up, where can we make concessions, both ourselves as the board and the town and staff and events? I think that's just one small part of it is, would you consider, maybe we send one representative to an event and then that information gets disseminated back to us instead of 5 people going. Someone goes to Washington and brings the information back, or someone goes to Shannon goes to New Bern, Commissioner Baxter goes to the Main Street thing and brings the information back. So we kind of consolidate in a way to save us money. But I didn't know what the number was for us this year. So we spent $52,000, but we also don't have a policy that governs how we spend that money or allocates it. Like, do we each get $3,000? Is it just first come? We don't have like an actual policy. So that's why I was asking for that line item, can we reduce it until we adopt one, or,
Yeah, I think when we have further discussion regarding this, it's an opportunity for the board to really take a look at the benefits of what we get when we do these conferences, which ones are most beneficial to the board and to our community while we create that policy. That's all I had, so regarding Commissioner Baxter, so thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. We're gonna go on a line, so I'll just go. The things that I looked at was, I was looking for ways to ensure that we could add another officer, but I know that that might be a little challenging, and we can look at it again mid-year, Manager Crosby told me. And so I'm back. I don't know if I should back up or just to the right of Mayor Pro Tem, because he might come towards me. But I was thinking, if we could, I was thinking about the parade. Everybody relax, hear me out. Or something different or smaller. Like, do we really, the 22 grand in the line for the parade? I know it's like something, now I'm an advocate for the parade. I have always wanted to do the parade. However, 22 grand.
But one of the things I discussed, I have heard, is this blending, taking a look at blending Candy Cane Lane and the parade together. Somehow that cut the cost.
Okay.
It did come before us last year too, so I must admit the two as well, but I mean, if the board is willing to discuss that.
That's a conversation that we did have. I've discussed it with Director Long and Manager Crosby, potentially what that looks like.
What that look like, okay.
That would also possibly help with, as far as the constraints that we put on our staff when we're doing two separate events. So bringing those together would truly bring one day of an event instead of back-to-back events. So
Yeah.
I think that is something that we need to consider. And again, I think it goes back to what we were just saying in regard to, we need to look at every single one of the events that we have. Our community now looks very different. And I know that we do some things as traditional, what we've continued to do over the years, but I think at this point in time, it's time to start looking at bringing some different events that speak to what our community looks like now.
I agree. And Candy Cane Lane is so, I love candy. Y'all know I love Christmas. It's a thing. Don't judge me. But Candy Cane Lane is so, well received. I don't want to look at that, but if we could, I don't know if Sheila is here. I don't see her.
Right there.
Hello, Sheila. So if we could at some point bring back some of those different options of how we could combine those or what that could look like. I don't know if we can reduce this, is the parade 22, Shannon, and then George.
So I know that last year we partnered with Shop Local Raleigh, and that was the cost for them to put on the parade. So I definitely think that, like, if we don't reduce it or we keep it that same 22,000, it will probably not be that amount if we're not hiring an outside firm to actually do, like the whole putting together of the parade. I don't know that it won't, but it might.
Okay. Commissioner Rowe.
Yeah, I was going to say, these numbers, are they a accurate representation of the cost, Director Long? Like, do you pay staff overtime for working, or is there, how much does the police cost, staff time, setting up, public works outside of this, or does 25,000 actually handle the whole thing?
25,000 would be, if it's in the events line, it's specific to the costs associated with the event that are not staff related. Staff costs would be found in your overtime budget or in your part-time salaries. So it's not reflected just in that event line.
Commissioner Rowe, when we come back in August with the finance briefing, that's one of the things that we're planning to break out, is what is the cost for each event.
But each department.
You have an actual
Each
number.
department.
Yeah, so we're just a guess right now.
No, it's not a guess. They're basing off facts from the past.
On what
it
we've
costs,
done before.
What we've done before.
So what would be the total cost for Candy Cane Lane last year?
So the challenge is that each the reason why I said we need to come back with that is that each department calculates their costs different. So we need to go back and talk to each department. So for example, Sheila has her overtime budget, police has an overtime budget, public works has an overtime budget. So we need to go back and look at how each of them calculate the cost of the event and then come up with a standard way so that we can tell you the exact cost. That was one of the challenges we ran into when we were trying to come up with the total cost versus the cost per department. And I would ask Rick and Chief Puckett and Chief Gary to come up and talk about your budgets related to events.
Yep.
Everybody move at once, guys.
And while they're coming up, I would share like one of the challenges. So we track our staff costs associated with the event and our staff time. Some of the challenges, you have a lot of staff that are working, that are salaried, that don't get paid overtime. They spend a lot of time planning these events. That's time that they're spending preparing for the event that they're not spending on other projects. And so there's that cost, and then there's the actual additional cost over what your annual salary is. And so that's when the manager references there's like that consistency, just making sure that we have that standard, that all the departments are measuring it the same way so that it's really understandable, because just across the board on exactly what it is, and that we're all in agreement of what that standard is, because all the different departments kind of do it in a little bit of a different way right now. And so we do have how many hours and things like that, and they've accounted for it within their budgets for overtime, with part-time if that's relevant as well. So I'll pause there if they had anything they wanted to share.
So I'm in agreement with you, Commissioner Baxter, that maybe we consolidate these events so that we can make them Candy Cane Lane and the parade together somehow, so that we can have one large event and kind of pour more resources into that. Right, I'm just saying I agree with that after, because I wanted to know if, from my perspective, the line item here is not the true cost of it, and we don't have a way to, I don't have the information of what it actually costs. So we're saying 25, but it could be 40 or 45, right? So instead of putting them together,
I do want to acknowledge too, it's both the dollar cost, but then it's also the capacity and the morale. And I think that's something that the other directors can speak to specifically.
okay.
Yeah, well, to that point, I think when you reference having to hire someone to help, that's why we've had to hire someone to help, is because we didn't have the capacity to turn around something as large as Candy Cane Lane and the parade back to back.
So basically, if we decided, as Mayor Pro Tem said, to do one of the combinations, then we could essentially be removing this 22 grand, because this was the 22 grand, because this was the cost that we paid the other shop
local Raleigh.
Total, what we paid them, that also included maybe some signage or marketing, street closure material, things like that, that also go into the implementation of that event. But yes, there would be some savings. If you're going to expand the scope of Candy Cane Lane, then you might have some additional expenses. But one thing that we've been trying to work on is how can we have our focal points, our flagship events, how do we build partnerships on those events and make them stronger as events for our community, and how do we bring people to the table to help make those happen? And if we can focus on those, and as y'all talked about, maybe reducing the number of events and not stretch ourselves as thin, we can be more impactful, but we can also manage our resources and our capacity a little bit better. So I'm going to pause there for PD.
Great. I don't know if we, so could we look at reducing that number and combining and bring that back to us as we're making these budget adjustments? I'm not sure that we need, we're good, but thank you, Manager Crosby. Thank you, guys. But Chief wants the time at the podium. Come on, Chief Puckett.
First, thank you for allowing me to speak, Mayor Pro Tem, Mayor, Commissioners. Commissioner Davis, thank you for making that statement, because when we plan these special events, it is great for the town. And I'm going to go ahead and say this, it is great for the town. I would love for the town to have an event every week, but it puts a major stress factor on our employees, especially when we do back-to-back events. So for example, Candy Cane Lane of 2025 staff cost alone was $2,736.
Can you say that number again? I'm sorry.
27.
$136. The parade, staff cost alone, and this is just for the police department, $5,188. Staff cost alone. Because when we have an hour-long event, and we're having to block streets off and we're having to do this, it's an all-day event for employees. The community comes out for an hour, 2 hours for a Christmas parade, maybe 45 minutes. We're there at 6 o'clock in the morning until well after the parade. So it does take a stress on our employees. So again, thank you, Commissioner Davis, for putting that out there.
Thank you. If you don't know Chief Puckett, one thing he is going to do is advocate. Thank you for safety. We appreciate you, Chief Puckett. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're still at me. Thank you. You guys good with Sheila? Yeah? Okay. So that was the end of mine. Mayor Pro Tem?
Just for clarification,
1 second.
you want that for Monday?
The reduction? Yeah,
Just the 22 or the full?
the 22.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
Commissioner Rolla?
Yeah. So,
I'm sorry. Is that a consensus of the board?
That sounds good. Yeah, that sounds good.
Apologies. Yes, thank you, Manager Crosby.
so the home infrastructure program, if we could look at page 105. We have this record digitization. It's $100,000. And in the email that I put out, Manager Crosby said that we may be able to postpone this for a year, saving us $100,000.
I'm sorry. Could you start over again?
Okay.
We're on page 105.
Page 105, in the memo section, at the bottom, second to last, includes $100,000 for town-wide record digitization.
Okay.
And I put that in the email for Manager Crosby and you guys to review, and that this is something that we can postpone for a year to save us $100,000.
Is that something?
Can we,
Is that something?
I would,
Everything is up for debate. I would just say we have some significant space challenges. We have some temperature control challenge. We have a number of challenges related to records, and this is probably not the full cost. From talking to our IT director, from talking, I think the clerk has some files. The biggest one is probably from Public Works, and that's because we have, and you can say it better than I can, Rick, but we have a lot of plans and specs that are in storage that we have a lot of concerns about that we have to keep for a long time. So yes, it could be postponed, but it's been put off for a while, so I'll just put that out there.
I'll let you tell me that. I think right now we're paying for that Connex box out there, one of the areas, then also the space behind IT with the space challenges we have right now. If I know I've heard before, I'm sorry? Yeah, we're paying for a Connex box that has documents in there now that are not regulated. But also now we're running to a space here at the town hall. So if we do digitize some of those documents, it's going to open up a whole nother space. Quote unquote, we're doing this space study right now. So it's going to give staff more spaces to kind of put people that right now I know planning is packed in there. You got everybody doing everything, sitting on top of each other. So
And it may loosen up some space for public records.
Public records, yeah.
that was exactly the point I was going to make, is that we had an increase in public records requests.
Commissioner
And so
Rose, sorry.
I would like to just say that I would love to see everything digitized, not only just from a preservation of document standpoint, but also to streamline services and to make it easier for staff to locate items and retrieve them, to not only do public records requests, but to do the daily operations where they might need to pull records from. I think it's important that we keep it in for this budget.
I would like Rick to, because he made the initial request, I would like him to give some more context to his specific challenges.
I agree with everything you said too, ease of access and all, but one of the biggest challenges we have, especially with the Connex, is climate control. These records, and we have to keep a facility record for the life of the building. You're talking 30, 40, 50 years, and where the conditions are in now, we run risk of losing those. We actually have boxes and boxes of as-built in a typical storage shed you'd buy from Lowe's with an AC unit in the window, trying to preserve them. So it's just not ideal.
Why can't we get rid of the Connex boxes and put all the documents in the basement?
Not temperature control
Taking you down there.
You'd run the risk of...
I would love, look, there is going to be a reason for every single line item in this budget book, and I understand that, and I sympathize with what you're saying, but there needs to be more cuts to this budget. And I am just pointing things out that I had asked our manager, and I brought to your attention well ahead of time, and I'm just reviewing it. That's what we're doing here, is just talking out loud. If you don't want to do it, then we move on to the next one.
No, Commissioner Rowe,
But
we're responding to you.
Can we get
so.
rid of the box, right, that we're renting or paying for, and put them in the nice, massive basement that we got a tour of that's empty? And, I mean, I don't have a basement, but I would store stuff in one if I had one, right? So that's just a question to use the space that we have if we can.
Can I ask the question, if we're still talking about an unfinished basement, and he just stated in regarding the box, the possibility, whether we're talking about the heat, the cold, trying to preserve those documents. If we have an unfinished basement, what is the difference? I know it's a cost effect, but if we still run the same risk of losing those important documents, putting it there in an unfinished basement as well.
And I guess I hear what you're saying. You're bringing it up. No. And it's a discussion. So no one is like saying, no, that's dumb or anything like that. Because it's not. It's a great idea. No, but because it's great. But we're just like, paying it, wanting to focus. Because one thing I would hate for us to do and continue to do is, house stuff in our, in the climate that we're currently in with the records request and transparency and people needing to know every single thing, because we want them to know every single thing. We want to be careful not to store records and stuff like that in a place that they could get damaged or destroyed, right?
Harder to access.
Yeah, or they're inaccessible, because we know that we serve a community that wants access to things.
I think it's just going to be more cost effective too as well, because you look at the labor that we're putting in staff is going to having to go here, find that, go there. So I'm okay with leaving the 100,000 there.
But keep going, George. We're here. We're with you.
On page 101, this is the sore subject here, but memo section 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have an internship program that's going to cost us $84,000 for workforce development and early career engagement. I know that it's a brand new enterprise-wide program, making it easy to delay. Do we think that we can postpone the internship program for a year until we get it together? No? Okay. No?
I think we already have it. We're currently in motion for that, correct? Because we have an intern right now.
We have
one. Okay.
Looking forward to that.
So is the 84,000, we're already locked in for that?
The balance of the one that we have through the end of the year, I believe, is 23,000. Tanya, can you correct me? Is that?
She stepped out.
I believe it's 23.
Refuses to correct you, let them know. Just
Is that just for 23,000 for one intern? Are we getting 4 interns?
The 23,000 is for one intern in IT. It's 1,000 hours.
84 is for what, multiple interns?
Yes.
Can we stay with one intern?
So my concern there is that we might be able to, but then we are losing the manpower that when you get an intern is significantly lower cost than actually making a hire in that particular department. And we are also giving the intern the opportunity for career development and hopefully encouraging them to come back to the town of Zebulon at some point when they decide to start their career.
I wonder though, in this moment where we are, is since we are in a process of like kind of restructuring and doing a lot of things, is this the best time to fully bring in that many, not even entry-level workers? Like, can we push this mid-year or a year even and still have the one intern? Is it possible for us to move it to mid-year just so that we are saving some costs? Because I don't know that we'll be ready to hire interns before the end of, mid-year. So maybe it might be a good idea to at least cut it to start in January until we get, because I don't think the program is quite written out and ready yet. Manager Crosby, can you speak to that?
Correct.
Okay.
So what's the saving, you will bring back the numbers of what savings that will be?
It's about 60,000.
I was gonna say, yeah, that would do a reduction.
That works.
But
Currently where we at, I know for me, I don't know about anybody else, but I get tons of calls from parents looking for summer jobs,
do.
internships. They're looking for it. So this had my kid has it, but this is also an opportunity to introduce the youth, which we're all about, into local government. So we're doing that. So it's a win-win. We're possibly creating future employees for the town of Zebulon. So that 84,000 to me is money well spent to advance the youth in this community, give somebody an opportunity that otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity for a local government, get the introduction. So I see the benefit, the windfall for that 84,000.
I don't disagree. I think an internship program is a very good program. I got mine in grad school and got my first job through an internship program. But looking to make cuts in this budget, some things we have to give somewhere. Everything in this, like I said, I can make a case for every single thing on here and against every single thing on here. So you're right that it is a good program, but where is this board willing to make deeper cuts? Because we need to. That's my question.
I think we're all in agreement with you, Commissioner Rowe, as far as, we want to look at this and be responsible in looking at where we can make cuts if it's absolutely necessary. I think for me, it's the one area that we almost want to protect because this is something we've been asking for quite some time. This is our youth that we're always talking about, that we're advocating for. This is the summertime where our youth are looking for something they can properly engage in. And Manager Krause, we had that discussion. This gives an opportunity for our youth to do something productive that will provide resources to them rather than giving the opportunity to get in trouble where we have to use other resources that we don't want to use, like our police officers.
There you go.
So this is something that I think we need to look at as an investment. It's not that we want to cut costs everywhere if it's an investment to our community. And Commissioner Baxter pointed out my same sentiments that this is also going to help our staff and the reduction of their workforce. And then this will also give them opportunity to have work experience that might bring them back, especially if we're talking about next year when we need to start bringing in more positions that we are not able to budget this year.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis.
All right, next one.
Commissioner Rolla, I'm going to take, we're going to need to take a quick 5-minute recess. What number are you on?
This will be page 152. That'll be the page for.
Okay, so we'll come back to page 152. We're going to take a 5-minute recess. moment at 6. Thank you all so much. We are back from recess. Roa, we are on page 152.
152, I have the strategic planning retreats. We have $30,000 in the fund for that. Can we cut that at all, Town Manager Crosby? Without it affecting impact here? You said it would not create an immediate operational service impact if we reduced it.
I believe so. Jeremy, are we at about, what, do you know what the balance was after we were done? I think it was about 20.
Yeah, not exactly to the dollar, but I think it's hovering right around 20,000.
Yeah, so I think if you reduced it by 10, you should be okay.
Manager Crosby, we've discussed before that we might need an additional retreat this year. So would that mean that we would need the 30, or are you thinking that we could reduce it down and still get both things accomplished?
I think we could reduce it down and figure out how to get both accomplished. Yeah. Would you?
Do we have a number of what that looks like? We saying reducing it down?
I wouldn't go any lower than 20.
Did you want to
So is
say keeping it at like 25, just to make sure that we've got any incidentals covered? Anything not used just gets returned to the general fund anyway.
What is the fund used for? The strategic plan, walk me through like the expenses.
So that's used for the board retreat, the facilitator for the board retreat. We also use it for, like, for example, we talked about having a mid-year check-in, so it will be used for that. This past year, we had the directors participated, which I think was beneficial to the board. So that's all captured in there.
Can we not host both of those events locally and save on renting a place far away or doing any of that?
I think there's always the potential. I think there's a benefit to having it at a retreat location. When I say retreat, I mean a location that's large enough for a big group to meet and move around like we did.
Thank you. So what was the consensus there? Are we reducing it to 20 or?
Reduce it to just whatever we can use to get by and host them both locally.
You have a number?
15,000.
15, Mayor Pro Tem? Mayor Pro Tem, where are you at that number? We just want to give clear direction as we're adjusting numbers.
I'm going to push it back to the manager because she knows what she has in plan. So manager, are you comfortable enough that you can get done what we need done? We know that the building relationship is important for the community, for the staff, for us as well.
Well, I'm asking you guys because Manager Crosby already said no less than 20,000.
That's what I'm asking her.
Okay, so
20,000 is where I'm at.
Okay. Davis?
Yeah, 20 to 25, I'm comfortable with.
20 and 25, I'm definitely comfortable with too.
Baxter?
I'm comfortable with 25.
Okay. So sounds like the consensus is 25. Manager Crosby, you got that?
Got it.
All right, Commissioner Roa.
On page 157, we have the communications professional services.
157?
So, correct me if I'm wrong, Town Manager, but we're separating this into its own department. Do we have to have, if we're having a brand new standalone department with a full-time director, what is the 85,000 for? Consulting? Is it for, why do we need that expense?
The 85 is the PEG media contract, and actually that is funded by the state, so that's not coming out of the general fund.
So this line item that we have for 85,000, we can delete?
Yes, from the general, we get revenue in, so we do have to capture it. You want to speak to that?
Yeah, that's basically just a pass-through. We get that, those are the PEG channel funding that we get from the state that comes from I think comes from like cable and satellite. When you pay in, the state gets it and funds the PEG channels. For us, that's PEG Media, formerly East Wake TV. So it's just a pass-through. We get it and send it to PEG Media. And they provide the equipment, the personnel, et cetera, to live stream these meetings and other programming, let's say like, what's the word I'm looking for? Promo videos that Heather might do and with other departments. So it's just a pass-through.
Thank you.
You actually just voted for the contract
We just approved it.
today.
Right, but I'm just in this line item, it just says professional services capacity. I just want to know what that's for if we're splitting it up. Let's see. We have travel and training that we pay for staff, a total of almost $100,000. We have it for. Where are you at? You gotta go to 10,490. I don't have the page numbers on here, but it's in the email that I sent to everyone.
All right, hang on a second. You said
10,490.
All right.
Number 5.
I would just say for
somebody give me
that
a
line
page
item, a lot of that is related to different certifications. So we can ask each director to talk about their travel and training budgets to let you know what it's for, if that would be helpful.
Well, not yet. I have another question that they can lump together. We have in the capacity for professional services and third-party studies, right? I sent an email asking to go through all of them and what we're paying for. So we have under 10,560,400 professional services, general, project management, we have $150,000. What is that managing for Public Works?
I'm going to ask Mr. Fletcher to come up and talk about that line item.
So we're on page 164.
Is this for the smart ride? What is this?
No.
The email, this is going through all of the different professional services attached to each department.
Which page?
You look at page 164.
Line item, it's professional services, is basically scoping money used to define, estimate, and structure the financial value and pricing of intangibles, knowledge-based services such as consulting, legal, accounting, engineering, or IT services. This is before the work begins. It basically bridges a gap between defining the project requirements, the scope, and finalizing the budget, just kind of ensuring costs remain reasonable. So some years they may use most or all of it. Some years they may not use much of it at all. This year, I don't think we tapped into it very much. We lost our project manager, so we haven't tapped into it much at all. But it's just those intangibles, attorney fees, IT, legal, consulting.
And what we can do is, since we lost the capital projects manager mid-year, we can go back and look at the trend to tell you what was covered in that line item, just to give you more detail. Would that be helpful?
That's good.
Get the others. It's broken out to have 2 others in that 560 account, 401 and 402. I know with the stormwater, we use it for mapping a lot. We do utilize those funds for mapping services, things of that nature. So.
Okay.
And do we have to maintain a certain level of stormwater infrastructure attention? Otherwise, we will be non-compliant.
Manager Crosby, do you have this email with you?
I do.
Can you just go down number 4? We just did the first one. I think that'd be easier if you have the page numbers.
Yes. So just have each.
Right, so the next one would be IT is asking for 117,000 in.
Tanya, if you could come up next and talk about your professional service line item. 17.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and Commissioners. So the line item for professional services for 117, it is an estimate. However, what that includes are the special projects that comes about whenever we have vendors come on site to have to come around to fix some of the items. So let's say sometimes with our internet, what happens is if it goes down, we can't find an immediate fix. They may have to dig, they may have to put some new wires down. That's where that kind of falls into play. In addition to the professional services, it also includes one of our areas of our cybersecurity, where there have been times where we might have an incident, and say if it's after hours and it's going to take me a long time to do that, I actually work with another third party to assist to make sure that it's isolated, and then we actually take it down effectively within seconds so that we don't have to do like an email or data has been breached. So all of my professional services are linked to that. That may be outside of what we currently leverage, the 208 contracts with the state. That helps us with our Microsoft Office. They don't fall into those line items.
And with this number, is that a conservative estimate? Is that aggressive? Do you have any room there?
Typically, I build my budget based on accuracy, so this is actually what we already have, and I don't have any additional in there. If something does come up or there has been extra or anything like that, it's very minimal.
What you spent this year?
Actually, it was probably a little more than that, and the reason I would say that is because we identified a risk whenever we did not have some of the security around cameras and some of our other public safety areas. So we were able to make sure that those line items were taken care of as well. And one of the things that I also do is whenever we're thinking about new projects or implementing new technology is an ecosystem to make sure that it's consolidated. So we're having to break down a lot of siloed systems and consolidate, and that's what we've been doing so far.
Thank you.
Matt, I have you up next, and then Rick, when you come back, I'm just going to have you go through all of the professional services for your division, so you'll be after Matt.
Sure. So for planning professional services, about half of what you see is expected to be for a traffic engineer or congestion management. That can be difficult to predict because it's dependent upon the size of developments that come. Bigger developments often need more traffic engineering support and help. In two fiscal years ago, we spent I think approximately $60,000. This year is a little bit less, but with multiple of the large master plan subdivisions in construction drawing phase now, I suspect about half of what you see to be congestion management. We have always had in the planning budget, not just since I've been the planning director at Zebulon, but in other places where I prepared planning budgets, some type of buffer for specialty consultants when we need to bring them in. For example, if we have an environmental issue, like say we have to become involved in a brownfields program, being able to bring in a specialist is off a lot cheaper than hiring somebody or training somebody. The planning department budget last year also reflected the GeoCivics contract, which GeoCivics is our online permitting software. That's since been moved. And so our budget reflects a reduction because there was room to do some reduction, and then there's some other items that are in different spots now. So.
And then, Rick, if you could talk about streets and stormwater.
Yes, ma'am. Professional service general, it'll just be related to specifically the streets, any type of engineering work or scoping work we need to do for those projects. And again, with stormwater, right now, primarily I think we're paying for mapping out of it, but if we needed to do any design, engineering, scoping for that, it would be the same concept for us. It's professional services, just we specifically pulled out streets and stormwater versus putting it in general because we have specific needs there.
Then Monique for Human Resources, and Sheila following Monique. It might be quicker for you to come up, because I think she has
to give her time to get up here. So for professional services and Parks and Rec, that is primarily focusing on opportunities to bring in specialized consultants that could help us with site assessment, maybe some environmental assessments. The town doesn't have a town engineer, so we may have some repair projects that we need to work with an engineer to just make sure that whatever the repairs are that we make are safe and they're going to last and they're following some best practices. So we may need some engineering services, but it also is a fund that we could utilize and would utilize to help us with developing grant applications if needed. And those range, all of those are items that will range in price range based on the projects that are in front of us and what we're trying to accomplish or what we need to accomplish.
Thank you.
Were there any specific questions?
Related to your professional services, the 37,000?
Yes, that 37,000 is used for, it's also used for professional development within HR and within the entire staff for the town.
This is the one related to your Cobra, Robert Half, the drug screening services?
Services.
Yes.
I'm so sorry. I thought you said professional development. Yes, so those are contracts that we have, such as Robert Half would be for temporary services that we may have. Cobra is for when employees leave employment and they have pickup health insurance for after they've left and they no longer have health insurance with the town.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that is all of our professional service line items.
And for number 5, are we locked into the 150,000 for the Smart Ride?
Matt?
Yes.
The term locked, but how it works is every year we work and create basically what's the estimate of what the program is going to cost, and then that's what's been budgeted. Smart Ride is the administration of the contract has frankly been a little challenging for the communities involved, the 3 communities. And so what that 150,000 is a reflection of, it's actually a reduction in what it was going to be. So the grant program in which matches our funding has a new balance now. And so that is a reflection of a reduction from a 50-50 match down to a 65 them, 35 us match. And so the board was given a presentation before you were elected about the progress of this program and what the next steps are going to be. And the board passed a resolution authorizing us to negotiate from a particular position. This is a reflection of that position. And we are working with our partners to explore all options to ensure that our microtransit program sustains itself in the future.
Thank you. And then lastly, I have page 129. I'm sorry, page 171. Marketing 10-690, marketing and advertising. We have $35,000 there.
That is related to some of our economic development programs that supports us being able to market some of our properties. We're working with Wake County now to begin to identify what properties we have available to be marketed. So anything related to economic development. Did you want to add anything to that, Sheila, on the marketing?
Really hard to capitalize on strategic partnerships that we have at the state level and at the local level, including Wake ED, as well as Greater Raleigh Convention and Visitors Bureau, to just make sure that our local businesses have support, but also we are working towards attracting new businesses. And so those marketing dollars will go towards working with those partners and for doing some very strategic marketing efforts to make sure that we're getting the message out about our community, why you would want to do business here, and also how we can support collaboratively with these other organizations, our local businesses, and make sure that we're doing as much as we can to help them have a space where they can be successful.
And with the, thank you.
Yes.
Does anybody? With the 3% merit increase, is there an alternative to the merit increase? Like, can we give like a one-time bonus for staff across the board so it doesn't compound and then it's 3 now and 3, and then maybe if we have them, we can bump them to 5 next year, but we give a bonus to staff to show appreciation, but it doesn't increase all of the rates?
We can explore the cost of it to see if it's a cost savings.
Is that a consensus of the board?
No, absolutely not.
I would like to stay with that 3%.
Right then.
One of the things that I would just like to point out as part of my reasoning behind that, I mean, aside from retention and increased cost of living in the times that we're living in right now, offering bonuses are often taxed at 50%. And so we would actually be spending quite a bit to give our employees half of what the bonus shakes out to be. So sometimes bonuses work, but like in this situation, I think that we need to make sure that we focus on employee retention and overall morale.
Cost of living as well, where we're at. But she is correct in stating your bonus actually gets taxed higher, but you're in a higher tax bracket. So you might give them a $5,000 bonus, but depending on where they are, they might only see half of that.
Just out of curiosity, what do you see, Commissioner Roy? What do you see?
With what?
Just like the bonus.
It's just an alternative to, because when you give a 3% raise, then next year when we give another raise, it just keeps compounding. So it costs us more money per year now to give a raise than it would a one-time bonus. You know, I want to make sure staff is appreciated, but like we are aware of our financial situation, right? Like, I don't want to state the obvious, but we haven't really made any cuts here. We've saved maybe $90,000 with Commissioner Baxter's, what if the consensus of the board to move forward, we've maybe saved $90,000, which is like a drop in the bucket compared to the $1 million that we probably should be cutting.
We're at like 152 right now. But that's okay. I mean, like, that's just the numbers that I have. I just think that we have to be like very, very protective of our awesome staff. Like, they work extremely hard, and we have already said that we are not going to be adding positions. So that means that our staff is going to be asked to take on more right now. And just to put this out there, like, because we haven't had this discussion before, and this is your first budget cycle, the cost to do recruitment and the hiring process is very, very, very expensive, especially when we are considering the police department and the fire department. I'm sure that Chief Puckett has that number on his phone for what it takes to recruit and hire and train. And so while you might think that there's a cost, there's such a high cost to having to rehire for a position.
Is that all you have right now?
Speaking to the mic, please.
Commissioner Roy, is that all the total you had? What was the total savings that you had if you had to cut it where you wanted to?
Well, it depends. It depends if we make cuts. We still have other things that I know we want to keep. We want to keep all of the the town activities. We have $105,000 in town activities. You know, we have our pay, we have travel, training for staff. Like, I think we need to be, for lack of a vocabulary here, as stingy as possible this year with funding so that we could make it to next year. You know, for the town manager, we're currently under an audit. If the auditor were to review our budget in its current state, would it impact us negatively? Would we get a finding or anything like that?
No, we have a balanced budget.
No, we have a balanced budget. And then the other thing I would state is that our fund balance policy is a town imposed policy. It's not a policy from the state that we're required to have. And so we are probably, where we are now is what, about 25% fund balance, even though our policy is 30, which is common, which is common among a lot of municipalities. So that's included with us, being below our current policy. So one of the things that I try to explain is that, do we need to be thoughtful going into this going into FY28? Yes, but this year we're not in a place where we're not able to pay our bills, and we're not in a place where the town is getting ready to shut down. The message in the budget book is just to say, hey, we need to begin thinking about a forecast going forward so that we can be responsible with how we use our resources. Hopefully that makes sense.
But don't you feel like we already have a forecast of what's coming down the line?
No, I don't. And I say that because I can, in my head, Bobby and I sat down and looked at our expenses over the last 5 years. And so this year we're up 8%, but last year we were up like 26 or 23%. And then the year before that we were double digits. So we really don't have a good forecast to look at. And that's something that we want to take time to do over the next month so that when we come back in August, we can review that with you.
Thank you.
Good? Okay. Mayor Pro Tem?
Just a couple of things here. We'll turn to page 169 for under.
At 169?
Yes, ma'am. Just want to get a better understanding of, like, we have a series of two ground maintenances and then park landscaping, kind of get a difference on those totals. The total's up to about $214,000. Just want to get an understanding of what's the difference between the each.
Sure. I'll have Ms. Long come up. And do you need my budget book? Oh, got it. Great.
3, Mayor Pro Tem.
You have ground maintenance, 620, 1500.
Park landscaping.
Yes, ma'am. And then also ground maintenance, parks and facilities. What's the differences?
Right. So, grounds maintenance is the general park maintenance that's occurring. So, and field maintenance. Our turf management program, any repairs to equipment that have to be made, repairs to our fields that have to be made. It's just an ongoing maintenance that we have to continue to operate. We do preventative, general, and we also do responsive. So, if there's graffiti somewhere, things like that we have to address. The parks or the parks and facility line used to live in Public Works in prior budgets. And this past year, it got moved over into our department. The reason behind that was, one, I think it gives a better reflection on the actual cost of maintaining facilities related to parks, that there are some maintenance items that traditionally Public Works has handled in our parks. So building maintenance for anything with a roof or the lights are examples, the parking lot, those are examples of things that the Public Works Department has traditionally operated. But when it has been in the Public Works budget and not in the Parks and Rec budget, it was harder to you had to, not that it was hard, but you had to do more work to get a true understanding of what parks maintenance costs were. And so it also created more opportunity for us to communicate better between departments about planning for maintenance projects. Does that answer your question on the difference of grounds maintenance and the parks and facility?
It does, but I'm trying to get understanding. We currently have staff that takes care of part of that. It's correct. I mean, I think we have a total of 3 maintenance for Park and Rec. Is that correct?
We have 4.
Okay. So this is in addition to what we pay current staff to do?
No, those are the supplies, materials, repair work that we may have to do. A lot of I'll give this example. Commissioner Adams, when you shared with us early on, there was a piece of play equipment that you were concerned about needing to be replaced. Some of those types of replacements, one, they can be very costly. One little spinny piece at a park could be.
call it the Vomitron. That's my non-traditional name for that.
It's a great name.
They can be several thousands of dollars, but they also may require specialized installation. So those are just where, yes, we do have staff. Our staff are, busy with cutting grass and all those other things that maybe some of those other items we might need some help because it's more specialized.
So this number is just a kind of like a placeholder, just in case. Then it's pretty much accurate based off past.
It's pretty accurate. We budget pretty closely, and we look at our spending from the previous year, and we plan based on our maintenance tasks that we know are coming and are to be expected. We also are recognizing that there are going to be some additional maintenance responsibilities as we take on additional greenway, as your developments close out, as well as the additional maintenance from Little River Park and just the increased use on our fields.
Page 165. Works Administration. Just want to get a bit better understanding for, you have contract services for $1,385,000, page 165.
GFL.
I believe that's the GFL solid waste contract. Yeah, as I mentioned the last meeting, all but $250,000 of that is to pay the contractor for the solid waste services we receive here in the town, and $250,000 is designated to go towards the brown bins, the rollout containers.
Okay, that's all. Thank you. Just want to get it on the same. Last one is page 160. Yes. It's going to be contract services. That's $497,500. Just want to get a little, what kind of contracts do that fall up under for the police, if I could get that?
Chief Puckett?
Got to be careful with Chief Puckett. He'll sit down and it'll be 1 point some million.
Contract services, that's it's about $460,000+. I've got a list here. Give me just a minute. All right, so $240,000 for the 911 fees, about $24,000 to $25,000 for our Wake County radio fees, and about $26,000 for our CAD and RMS. We're at the mercy of Wake County for that. We can't do anything about that. So
I couldn't understand what you said. 26,000 for what now? Sorry?
For our RMS, our report management system, and our CAD, which is what they dispatch the calls on. Digital Ally is about $35,000 for an estimate of next year. That's to ensure that we have transparency, enhance accountability, and strengthen public trust. So those are our body-worn cameras and our in-car cameras. $21,000 of flop cameras.
Am I getting 497?
I would just add, and Chief, correct me if I'm wrong, for our 911 service, we had a 24% increase this year.
That is correct. Wake County Sheriff's Office pulled out of the Raleigh-Wake Emergency Communication Center for their own dispatch. So we had a significant increase because of them pulling out. It's a shared program. So with Wake County Sheriff's Office no longer being part of that share, our increase was pretty outstanding this year.
and then a 40% increase in the CAD.
And that's the same, for the same reason. That's out of our control. There's nothing we can do about that.
Thank you. Yes.
Sounds like everyone has had their chance at Manager Crosby and team. If there are no other concerns or direction, Manager Crosby, do you have what you need as far as direction to come back?
I believe so. If you would allow me to go through my notes, and Bobby, if there's anything I'm missing, please let me know.
Manager Crosby, please speak into your microphone. Thank you.
If you would allow me to go through my notes, and then Bobby will chime in if I miss anything. So I have a reduction in board salaries at $55,000, $20,000 for the mayor, and then $16,000 for the mayor pro tem and the commissioners. Reduce travel by $10,000. Reduce the strategic planning budget by $5,000. The internship program, I just want to make sure, are we reducing that by 60?
No.
Record digitization, we're keeping that?
Yes.
I need to provide trend data for professional services related to public works project management. Reducing fireworks by $10,000. Combine the parade and Candy Cane Lane and remove the $22,000 for the parade. Remove the home infrastructure fund, and that's a reduction of $50,000. I do want to note that there are additional funds by Wake County that supports this program, so there still will be resources available for our community. And those are my notes. Did I miss anything?
That's what I had.
All right, thank you. So we will go back and make edits to this. The only other thing I would like to add, we do have a retiree policy that we would like the board to consider, that all new hires after July 1st, that we no longer provide that retiree insurance. Right now, we have, once you leave, actually, I'm gonna have Monique come up and clarify that. I believe once you're with the town for 10 years, if you retire from the town, then we cover your health insurance up until 65. And so the ask is that after July 1st, any new hires, we no longer provide that as a benefit because that is an additional cost to the town. Those that have been hired and currently with the town would be grandfathered in. Monique, if you could provide some more.
So at this time, I think there's 12 retirees, and there are 9 of them that are on the insurance that we take care of. So it is quite a bit, especially with some of the usage that we're incurring for claims as well.
Thank you.
But you're not asking for us to move forward with this right now, or do you need direction right now?
We would like for you all to consider discontinuing that benefit for anyone hired after July 1st.
So will you bring that to us in the form of a motion for our August meeting? Okay, that sounds, all right, thank you.
I guess, or for next week.
Oh, yeah, then, sorry, next week.
All right.
Next week works, thank you. Thank you, Monique. All right, I think we are all good as far as the board. Manager Crosby, you're good?
Yes.
All right, sounds good. Board, anything else, Commissioner Rolla? No. Commissioner Baxter?
No, thank you so much.
Commissioner Adams? Commissioner Davis?
Nothing.
Mayor Pro Tem? No. All right. Thank you all so much. We will now have, is she? Okay. We will, oh, she's here. All right. Emily, we will have, moving on to presentations, Nomako Park. Miss Emily. Thank you, Bobby.
Commissioners. I'm happy to be here with you this evening to share an update on Nemeko Park and the improvements for this year and what's to come. This is sort of a follow-up to what you all received last fall as we approved Capital Broadcasting Company as the lessee or tenant of the property. We've been working closely with them, and I say we, but it's not really me. We have an amazing team. Our folks at Wake County FD&C Facilities Design and Construction. We have LS3P, who was the architect that was selected following an RFQ process, as well as town leadership and staff and leadership with Capital Broadcasting Company and the Zebulon Devil Dogs. This is a quick review of what we'll be covering tonight, and I'm just going to jump right in. I think most folks know, but we have this background slide presented because over the years we've had elected officials enter this space and be out of this space and come back in. But this Carolina Mudcats originally started at what was called 5 County Stadium until very recently, 35 years ago in 1991. In 2003, after some improvements to the stadium, the county assumed 85% ownership in exchange for assuming all the debt on the stadium. It's not on the slide, but in the early 2020s, so during COVID and as we were coming out of COVID, we learned from the Carolina Mudcats and the Milwaukee Brewers and Major League Baseball that there were going to be a series of new requirements for the stadium, mainly for team and visitor locker rooms, as well as the playing fields. And we did try to work with the Mudcats to make some improvements to the stadium to get them to stay. In 2024, the Mudcats did announce their move to Wilson. At that point, we engaged a consulting firm of CAA Icon, who's worked with teams such as the Milwaukee Brewers, other Major League Baseball teams, and the Carolina Hurricanes to go through an RFQ process to select a new tenant for 5 County Stadium and an operator. After months of negotiations and hard work, the county and the town did select Capital Broadcasting Company, and the lease was approved in November of 2025. You know, all the exciting events that have happened since then, leading up to opening day last month. These are pictures from when we presented this to the county. I'm sure many of you were at the ribbon cutting and have been to some of the events and games out there. So we, along with you all, are very excited about the activity happening at the stadium. So some of the projects that have been completed to date, you've probably noticed the new synthetic field surface. This will allow for multiple types of sports, multiple events to be held out on the stadium year-round. We know the team is playing there now. Wake Tech will be bringing baseball and softball as well as soccer to the stadium. They've done some grading and stormwater improvements and concession area improvements. So when the prior tenant moved a lot of their concession equipment out, we needed to do some cleanup and get things ready for the new concessions. Projects that are sort of being in the planning stages but will be commencing soon is the bleacher seating removal and new stadium lighting. On the right side is a list of projects that will really commence at the end of the season for the Zebulon Devil Dogs, and you'll see a timeline later in this agenda. So the stadium concepts is what we're bringing to you tonight. I like to call these sort of the schematic design, so where our team is as we begin more in-depth design work and get toward bidding and construction. Again, noting the synthetic field replacement, the bleacher removal that'll be happening on the first and third base sides, and the things I just mentioned in the previous slide. The areas highlighted here in the different colors represent the areas that will be touched with the improvements that will happen later this season and into next year. So this is the first area. This is sort of on the outside of the third base side. This is the entry plaza. This is going to become sort of the new gateway into the stadium proper. For those of you that have been out there for a long time, you know, the official opening area is behind home plate, behind first base, but that's not the easiest place for people to get to if you're parking on 264, even 39, but I believe they're directing folks now off of Old 264. And so this becomes sort of the new entry plaza and gateway. These upgrades out here to surfaces and wayfinding and signage is not only helpful for the stadium games, the events at the stadium. This is going to become the place where they want the community to have events. So this is going to be the place where those types of events that I know the town is very interested in having, this is the place that can have them. In addition to the concessions for the games, this is where food trucks can line up. This is where performers can be for smaller events. So down the third base side, the amenity in this area is going to be what I call the family-friendly area and the lawn and the playground. You may remember from concepts drawn last fall that was planned to be down the first base side, but they've moved this to the third base side given that they want the sort of grand entry area to be on the third base side now. So this will definitely have areas where kids can play activities during the games. What you sort of see in the lower right-hand corner, that's going to be the playground area. That's not going to have your traditional swing sets, but like climbing structures and things like that. You may notice sort of on the back end of that, there's a gate. So this is the gate that will be open and available outside of game days, outside of playing areas. This park will be open every day of the year and available to the public. But then it connects nicely down the third base side. This is where the bleachers are now. That's going away. For those of us who have kids or had kids, they need places to get up and run around and not sit in a seat the entire game. And there's also going to be concessions available. So we've kind of flip-flopped what was going to be sort of the social area on the third base side. That is now going to be on the first base side. That has sort of concrete patio seating. It has some shading structures. They will use this area for more like things like food trucks or freestanding food carts or drink carts. This will be a space open to everybody, but will be more intended toward the adult, sort of lounge area and conversation area that we had planned previously on the third base side. So the Sky Lounge, or what was previously known as Cattails, that's going to get a refresh. The finishes and fixtures that have been in there for many years will be stripped out. It won't be a formal restaurant. They are removing the kitchen itself, so this will be more of like a bar and snack area. This also reduces further future maintenance because you're not creating another kitchen up here. But they're going to open this up. It'll be more standing area versus restaurant seating. They're going to leave some of the lower seating in as well. These are some really nice renderings. So you can see the space is going to open up. Right now, the walls that sort of separate the lower area, the seating area from what is currently the dining area, will be opened and have more of a glass feel so you can really see down into the stadium no matter where you are in the lounge. Throughout the property, we'll be working on signage and wayfinding. So of course, the monument signage at the corner of 39 and 64 will be upgraded. You can see some examples here of what the design team is looking at. So nothing here is set in stone, but these are kind of the concepts that trying to think, font and size of things that you might see. Wayfinding signs throughout, and then really promoting from the road where you can see things like as you're coming in, this is an event space and this is a space where you want to be. Along the concourse, there will be a number of aesthetic improvements. You can see highlighted, the roof is going to get repainted. There will also be some repainting on the superstructure itself. I know they've been out there doing some cleaning, but doing things like applying vinyl graphics throughout, wayfinding signage, take opportunities to put up murals and things that give this a sense of place. The front office is getting some minor renovations. One of the things that they want to do is actually get rid of or not really utilize the freestanding ticket booths. That's something else you have to maintain. So if you look on the right side here about the plan, you can see in the yellow there's a ticket counter. Since they do how you buy tickets has advanced since this was built many years ago. Most of the tickets now are done digitally, so you don't really need these freestanding ticket booths. So tickets will be sort of reconfigured into the office space. And just because of the way that the team works now, you just don't need as many offices and cubicles. They're doing work throughout the stadium, doing work virtually that can be done and don't actually need it. Again, some light refreshes to the clubhouse and the locker rooms. This is really just paint and fixtures and finishes that need to be replaced. No major reconfigurations of these spaces. And just kind of for those of you that were here when we were talking about the Mudcats back in 22 and 23, it would have been a major complete tear down of these spaces and rebuilding. The total cost of these improvements is $8.6 million. That is split, chart's a little backwards, where it says FY26 CBC projects. The county fronted its 85% of this project to get this kick-started, and so it was a $4 million allowance for the new field, lighting, concession, bleachers, some other things like that. And then some of these projects to the Sky Lounge, actually building the playground, building the first base social area, the concourse refresh, that's sort of in the second phase of this, that's the $4.6 million. And then any funds that are not used by CBC in 26 really reduce the overall budget and can be carried over into the 27 projects. Here's the timeline, summer 2026, so they'll finish designing and permitting. They'll go into bidding in the fall. And you can see a lot of the construction work they're going to try to do over the winter, the first 2 quarters of 2027. So hopefully most of this will be done, or at least not interfere with playing in 2027. And CBC and the Zebulon Devil Dogs have been closely involved in this schedule. So our priority is to work around them and close out by the end of next season. And with that, I'm happy to take any questions.
What about the water tower? That is a question we get quite often. Commissioner Baxter.
Thanks for this, Emily. It looks fantastic. I'm excited. I do have one question about when you were talking about upgrades to the concourse area. Are there any rain intrusion mitigation plans for the concourse?
Did you say rain intrusion?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I will find that. I haven't heard that specifically, but I will find that out and we'll provide a response via email to the commissioners.
That would be awesome. Thank you.
Commissioner Adams.
No, I think it's awesome. I just want to confirm, because exciting to me is that there's a play area for the children throughout the year that they can go. That's perfect.
That was a priority expressed by the elected officials at the time to make this not just a ballpark. We kind of know how it was operated for 35 years, and that's okay, but we wanted to know what we could do better, and that was one of the things that the community and the elected officials wanted, was a year-round access playground.
Thank you.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Commissioner Davis.
No questions. Just excited. Thank you for hearing the request and making this happen. So, looks great.
Commissioner Roa.
Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem.
No questions this time.
Thank you so much. We're very excited. We can't wait.
Thank you.
Yes.
Have a good evening.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, it is 6:00 p.m. and we are getting ready to do. Does anyone have any board comments that you want to make? It's 6:00 and I have to make an announcement at 6:00. Okay? There are very eager youth watching our YouTube right now.
That's right.
So it's 6:00 and I told them it was going to be at 6:00. Let me just make this quick announcement and then we'll go to, this is my board comment, so I'll go first tonight, okay? Thank you. Good evening again, everyone. The Mayor's Youth Council is very excited to announce the students selected to serve as the inaugural members of the Mayor's Youth Council. The Mayor's Youth Council was established to provide young leaders, as Mayor Pro Tem mentioned earlier, with meaningful opportunities to learn about local government, develop leadership skills, and actively contribute to the future of our community. The students selected for appointments have demonstrated enthusiasm, character, and a genuine desire to serve, and we are excited to welcome them into these new and important roles. Please join us in congratulating the following students on their initial appointments. Youth Mayor, Alana Bethay. Youth Mayor Pro Tem, Lawrence Verdon Jr. Youth Commissioner, Micaiah Simone Ash. Youth Commissioner, Camry Madden. Youth Commissioner, Jalea Jackson. Youth Commissioner, Sky Janae Barnes. Youth Town Manager, Rebecca Ann Lyles. Youth Town Clerk, Tyler Daniel Harrison. That's my baby. Tyler Daniel Harrison. Youth Attorney, Aubrey Davis. Youth Police Chief, Brian Powell. Youth Economic Development Director, Journey Andrea Barnes. Youth Parks and Rec Director, Braden Williams. Youth Planning Director, David Madden. Please join us as we also recognize the community mentors who have been appointed to support the Mayor's Youth Council. Dr. Lisa Swenson, Senior Advisor, Richard Ash, Youth Advisor, Brad Holly, Youth Advisor, and Tamaya Mason, Youth Advisor. Please join me in congratulating these. We are extremely excited. We are very, very grateful that there are so many youth that actually came and wanted to be a part of the Youth Council. Thank you to our team, to our clerk, and to our manager, to everyone. So this is an opportunity to teach our youth about local government for civic engagement. So all of the youth will shadow you guys at some point because we want them to understand local government. We want to introduce them, as you said earlier, to potential jobs, to opportunities outside of, what they may see. And so I know that our directors just heard about the youth directors. So they're very excited. Don't worry, Rick, we are working on a youth public works director. Chief Perry, don't worry, I have you covered. We're gonna be bringing you guys some youth as well. We're very, very excited. Thank you, board, for your support for this initiative. I appreciate you guys. Those are my board comments. Commissioner Roa, board comments?
Yeah, just for the citizens of Zebulon, I've talked to a lot of people. I'm only one board member, so I look at this budget through the lens of, my constituents and the feedback that I've received. But we will have a joint public hearing where you can come and share your feedback with the town. And I hope that you do come and share your feedback with the town. We work for you and this is your money. So if you don't like some of these things, that is the opportunity where you need to provide this town with some direction. So that's my board comment.
Thank you, Commissioner Roa. Commissioner Baxter?
I look forward to adopting the budget and moving forward with all of the exciting programming and daily life that Zebulon has to offer. We are in a good spot, in a great town, in the best state in the union.
Thank you, Commissioner Baxter. Commissioner Adams?
No questions, ma'am.
No comments either?
Just no questions at this time.
No, never mind. Okay.
You want me to say something?
Nope, I don't actually. I'm good. Commissioner Davis?
Not much comments. Just continue to be grateful for the staff, for their due diligence and working hard. And the board, we do want to do our best to be as responsible with the budget. As Commissioner Roa said, our citizens' tax dollars. So I'm just going to commend everybody for their efforts in trying to do the best to make this happen. So thank you.
And I will say, Commissioner Davis, you went to the town manager and you said, please just get a budget that we can read, we can explain, that tells the story of where we're going, where we are and where we're going. And you've done that. Thank you for Manager Crosby for leading this and for your team. I know how challenging this was, and I know that we are still looking for solutions and ways to fix things, and I just really appreciate the work that you guys have put into this, because I know it wasn't an easy task, so thank you. With that being said, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn, but did Mayor Pro Tem?
Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't call on you.
No comments.
All right, nope, you gotta say something now.
Unity through
I was about to say, you at least gotta say unity through community. All right, good. I apologize, Mayor Pro Tem, I got excited. All right, is there a motion?
Make a motion to adjourn.
You have a motion with second? Second. Any discussion? Nope, all in favor? Adjourn. Thank you.
Sorry about that. I'm gonna second your time. You gotta give it a go.